and the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown lesson. Peace.
Young
Be unto you.
TV.
Hit that like.
Hey y'all, we back at you with another banger. We got some updates on the land with some prophecies that's coming out, man, and you know, certain things are starting to move around. We at the end of this moon cycle, and we bringing in the sun phase. A lot's going on. So Chief Pontiac, Skype Ape at the North Gate, Rod Hayes have brought us some clips and other things he gonna go in on discussing the transition that we're going in, the transitional phase as this whatever energy it was, this moon energy go out, and then the Big Mama's energy come back to the planet. Go ahead, Rod. Tell them what we got going on.
So Dave, today we just going over receipts. Somebody sent me a couple on my Facebook, has sent me several videos that is like streamlining everything I've been saying over the last like 6 years. So we ain't got the videos in no particular order. We just gonna take them as they come and do a little commentary between each one of them. But this is really just a receipt drop so that they'll see that all the stuff I've been telling them. Somebody sent me these. It's a Facebook page that got more than this on there, but I have to go into it, and you can check that Facebook page for even more. But they came from, the main ones we talking about came from a particular Facebook page. Somebody tagged me in them, and I'm sharing them because they used computer graphics and animation or voice to text, text to voice. So it's like they took notes of everything I've been saying over the last 5 years, and then they said, this is what's going to happen, or this is what's going on right now. So roll the corn, Elder. We know the truth, man.
Let's get it cracking, y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We're about to get ready to crack heads and twist caps.
We begin tonight with breaking developments from the battlefield. Not abroad, but right here on American soil. The Corporation of the United States has officially fallen. The fraudulent structure established in 1871 is no more. What remains now is the Republic, backed by the people, the Constitution, and the newly implemented quantum financial system. Over the past 48 hours, more than 200 offshore shell companies tied to the World Bank, IMF, and NGO cartels have been seized by military cyber units. These weren't just paper entities. They were financial pipelines used to launder gold and fiat through encrypted Swiss AI channels, many linked directly to Epstein-era trusts. That network is now gone. Dismantled. Permanently disabled. Inside the Bank for International Settlements in Basel, emergency meetings are underway. Not to fix the system, but to negotiate surrender. Several European finance ministers have already submitted compliance documents to the quantum system. Their banks will not be rescued. They will be absorbed. And this absorption is happening in real time. Back in the United States, the IRS is collapsing. Thousands of agents are no longer auditing. They're being audited. Many now face sealed indictments connected to unlawful taxation under the illegitimate corporate statutes of the past century and a half. Military tribunals are expanding. A classified facility in Greenland is actively processing detainees involved in global currency manipulation, human trafficking networks, and coordinated cyber attacks against the QFS. Their testimonies won't be televised, they're being archived for history. Meanwhile, across the country, a different kind of war is exploding. In California, what was branded as protest has been unmasked as full-scale insurgency. On June 9th in Los Angeles, radical elements launched coordinated attacks on federal ICE facilities. Fires lit the skyline. Officers were pelted with bricks, trapped under overpasses, and assaulted in broad daylight. One ICE agent was violently slammed to the ground as crowds cheered. This was not protest. This was war. Fox News confirms. Democrat council members like Ulises Hernandez openly encouraged the escalation. Antifa affiliates, cartel-linked agitators, and foreign-funded NGOs used military-grade tactics, human shields, firebombing, and even suspected EMP weapons to neutralize federal law enforcement. President Donald J. Trump responded with a historic decision. On June 8th, he invoked 10 U.S. Code 012406, granting him the authority to federalize National Guard units without a governor's consent. 2,000 National Guard troops were activated immediately in California. That number has since doubled, now 4,000 strong, and the Marines at Camp Pendleton have been placed on full alert. This is not optics. This is the Constitution in motion. Trump has made it clear, this is not a protest, it is an insurrection. And it is being bankrolled by globalist actors seeking to plunge America into chaos, just as the old financial system collapses. Whistleblowers from within the NYPD and DHS are flipping. Patriots inside the system are waking up. They now see the truth, that state officials like Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, and Jason Chavez are protecting criminal networks, not citizens. Soros-funded legal shields, CCP-backed NGOs, and foreign intelligence operatives have embedded themselves into state and city bureaucracies. Their fortress is cracking. Trump's military coalition, operating from reactivated bases like Cheyenne Mountain, is bypassing corrupt courts and compromised agencies. Orders are direct. Response is swift. Coordination is seamless. The White Hats are no longer playing defense. They are taking the offensive. News from the ground confirms that ICE facilities have been stormed, federal buildings attacked, and law enforcement units overwhelmed, all while mainstream media remains eerily silent. That silence isn't confusion. It's complicity. The Mockingbird press knows exactly what's going on, but their scripts have been frozen. Bank portals are crashing. ATMs are going offline. Payment apps are glitching. This isn't technical error. This is controlled demolition. The old system, the fiat matrix, is being drained in real time. As chaos unfolds in blue strongholds like LA, a different story is taking shape worldwide. Quantum internet nodes are now going live across Africa, Southeast Asia, and South America. What globalists framed as redistribution is now revealing itself as rebalancing. The era of hoarding wealth at the top is over. The quantum system doesn't ask permission. It replaces. Make no mistake, this isn't a drill. The insurgency is real. The counteroffensive is active, and the transition is irreversible.
All right, Rod. That's the first clip right there. You want to go ahead on
Okay,
that?
so you see, you said that the commands was coming from Cheyenne Mountain, right? And remember, I said 1,000 times that the military command is operating for the continuity of government out of Cheyenne Mountain, right? And he went into the Antifa thing. The George Soros was funding the anti-ICE protests, and they was sliding in private militaries that they had purchased for the assaults on the government agencies that was closing in on the immigrants, the illegal immigrants. But the illegal immigrants was the prelude to the conflict. So this is what, remember when he sent in the military and I said that he gonna be able, the military can be sent in under the jurisdictional control of the National Guard. So he sent in those those National Guard troops supported by a group of Marines. Right. So they went over all of the stuff I've been saying. The changeover at the end, they was talking about that the other countries is starting their own internet, blocking out the United States military created internet. Right. So they coming up with their own and they knocking them all offline. So all of those countries, those they say it's mostly Africa and Asia, and they have exited the World Wide Web and they have established their own. All that's code talk. It's double speak, right? Because it's telling you that those ones have already made their alliances and have sealed their connections from the fallen regimes. So they stable now. And the ones that still tied into the World Wide Web, which ties into the old system that's still online, they the ones that has to crash, right? So the ones who have their own systems in place no longer have to rely on the old systems, and the ones that still relying on the old systems, and that's the grand finale. When the old systems collapse, we talking banking system, then they roll out these arrests, right? Obama gonna be the one that's supposed to shake the world. So all this stuff gotta happen in the next 100 and something days, like 101, 102 days, because the arrival of the craft is the deadline that they given us of their operations in the old system. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end, and the end meets the beginning. And you start all over again. So the referee come in to determine who's the victor in the war. Right? The referee got to be an unbiased person that has no distinct ties to the left or the right. We're going to see who won. Right? So they telling us that the craft's supposed to arrive within the next 101 days. That's telling us how long these operations going to be rolling out. We in September, that give us to the end of November. That's like 90 days. You know, so so all this stuff is cumulative. Right? Little things is happening, we report on them. Another little thing happened, we report on it, right? And once they're aware that we're aware, then they move on to the next point. We not consenting to the tomfoolery. So every time we don't consent and we keep moving on with our persistence of who we is and that we the rightful heirs, it shrink their system. They control, and it makes the ones they call the deep state, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, they the ones that's going crazy right now, trying to figure out ways to sip their last of those sips of power, because it's finna all come rolling out. As we're going to see, it's going to tell y'all more of stuff that we done discussed on the Young Elder channel in the next one when he rolled that corn.
Yeah. Hey, quick questions before we go to the next one.
Yeah.
All right, so 100 days from now, the November, that's when they talking about the 12-mile mothership or whatever the mothership's arriving. Do you think that we should prepare for some type of like outage? Because when these ships appear, they can they talk about a power outage or some kind of it could cause an event. So should we be like stocking up getting our supplies together and being
I'm gonna tell you
prepared.
this, anybody that ain't ready for what's coming now, don't waste your time.
Okay.
If you ain't ready for what's coming, because you can't stop what's coming. This is the grand finale, right? So now everything is kicked up a notch. This is when they said the white hats that went from defense to offense, right? That's chess. The only time you switch from defense to offense is chess is once you got the upper hand.
Yeah.
Then you attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So it's a shift. The power shifted. When they told you they went from defense to offense, I tell you right there, the power has shifted.
Yeah.
Right? Because as long as the dominant force is dominating, you can't mount an offensive.
Right.
Because you're too busy backing up on defense. But as soon as their resources is depleted, you know, and they don't have no more gas to move forward, then the tables is turned now.
Yeah.
So now the once defenders is now the aggressors, the attackers.
Right.
Looking to stamp out the last little vestiges and holdouts of the fallen system so that we can bring in the golden age with the new systems.
Right.
Right. In religious terms, this is the so-called prophecy of the end in Revelations. Right. We in the final chapter of Revelations right now. So,
Well, I see that.
And all that's based on star constellation alignments, portal gate time frames that's kept. Because remember, all of the numbers reveal something. And then Bedell just did a little short on the 999 gate, which is to the nines is to the finish. Right? So after the 999 gate flip, that's when you start seeing everything take off. Right? Then he mentioned something about, I think, an eclipse on the 7th. Right? So it's telling you everything that's taking place in the stars, but we don't always know how to translate that to what to look like in 3D when we experience it. So we show you the energy using the numerology. And then we try to use current events to align the numerology so that you have a perceptive insight into what you experience going through the system, going through the process. Then it causes you become more alert, more awake, more aware, right? So the light codes turns on the light. So when we tell y'all these numerology or tarot readers or whatever, and they give you this layout, then we match it up with the real life scenario, and it can be so accurate as it can call a person's name or address out, like GPS.
Hey Rod, one more question before we get to the next slide. Now they said they mentioned quantum, the quantum monetary system.
Yeah, the QFO.
I did a tape on it. Now, to me, they already semi in it. They just still got paper money floating around. They already semi into the quantum system already. They just because you got all the crypto, all the different parts, right, of the quantum system. But to me, they just waiting on, and they haven't printed no more money. Could you go in on it about the printing of the money and how the money system is going to change over to the quantum? How it's going to completely change over? Because that's what they was.
So the executive order stopped them from printing the Federal Reserve from printing Federal Reserve notes in 2017. But they still had what's called surplus reserve notes, right? Because they print so many of them. So they had to run them through the system. And remember, when they collect the old bills, they supposed to burn them or recycle them, right? So they've been collecting old bills, is reducing. Remember, I told you the BRICS nations is to damn the dollar back home.
Yeah.
And then that's going to force the Federal Reserve to have to take more and more dollars out of circulation.
Right.
And they backing depends upon the rate of circulation. Right. This is why they talk about how many times do the black dollar bounce through the black community before we put it into somebody else's. How many times the Jewish dollar, the Chinese dollar. But all that's telling you is who's keeping the financial value stable on the currency.
Right.
Right. The ones who's passing it the fastest is the most valuable to the system. So they created something called consumerism, right? Shopping crazes, right? When catalogs came out in the late 1800s for shopping with places like Sears and Roebuck, people lost their mind shopping.
Yeah.
Everything was being shipped back then. Put them up, put it on the train.
Yep.
Catalog shopping. Now we Amazon shopping.
Yeah.
Anything you want, you can go look on the internet and order it, and it'll be there in a day or a couple of days or less.
Yeah. Thanks.
Right. That's so that to keep the rate of circulation, the faster the turnaround of the dollar, the more value it have for the Federal Reserve. But the less value it have for us because it also creates inflation.
Right.
Right. Now, when they start reducing the number of dollars, when they get to what they call a critical pivot, is when the inflation of the dollar start having to be brought down because it's beginning to be scarce.
Mm-hmm.
That means the value of the dollar start to restore itself. By the time the banks collapse, then the inflation will just plummet.
So, my bad. Go ahead.
So prices will go back to like the 50s or the 60s or something.
So
but the value of the dollar would be stronger.
So for somebody that's got over 10,000 or something like that crazy in their account, what should they do? Like, should they trade that money in for something like gold or something, or should they sit on it? Because the bank closed, boom, we don't got no more money, or we can't give you no more money. How do you deal with it right now? Because you want to be prepared if you got a whole bunch of money in your account. What do you think people should do if they got over 10,000 or whatever in their banking account?
As long as they keep a couple thousand in cash reserve, they should be good. Because when the old system fall and the new system come online, it's an automatic compensation for the ones who money was tied up in the system, the old system. It's part of the currency buyback program, right? Remember, we talked about that.
Yeah.
What happens is when the crash happened and then the banks are all closed, they're non-functional, right? That's when the banking corporation is totally defunct at that point.
Right.
So the Federal Reserve Bank is what we've been relying upon with Federal Reserve notes.
Right.
So when the Federal Reserve becomes totally defunct, it becomes the responsibility then of the U.S. Treasury,
right,
to restore trust in the financial instrument of the nation. The only way they're going to do that is it has to be substantially backed by its original backing, which was gold and silver.
right,
Right? So now they take control of the defunct banking systems. Your Chase Manhattan's already been seized by military intelligence, but they didn't tell us that.
Nope.
Bank of America has already been seized by military intelligence, but they haven't told us that yet. Right? It's a couple more of those major banks. Wells Fargo, seized by the military. Right. They all were seized because they was part of a conspiracy to enslave the people. And the conspiratorial nature of it was predicated upon consumerism, making you so delirious with money because you've been in poverty so much that you don't really understand money mechanics. You don't know what the value of the money really is because somebody got to come over every year called the chairman of the Fed and adjust the interest rate.
Right.
By the way, it was one that just got apprehended a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Coming to talk about adjusting the interest rate. We're going to adjust your ass. We're going to show you some adjustments. First, we're going to adjust $5,000 suits, and we're going to put you in this $2 orange jumpsuit. See how you like that.
It's a $2 orange sandals. Jailhouse sandals. The county joints. The county joints. Right, everyone, let's roll that next one, Rod.
Roll the corn.
All right, I got you.
Patriots, the storm is no longer coming. It's here. We are now entering what sources refer to as the final phase of the global takedown. After years of strategic planning, coordination across nations, and unprecedented digital warfare, the final strike has been launched. According to whistleblowers and aligned military sources, over 300,000 troops have now been mobilized worldwide under a unified liberation command. This is not a drill. Phase 0 complete. Endgame begins. This week marked the conclusion of Phase 0, a covert series of operations that dismantled deep state infrastructure and severed globalist escape routes. Key figures are reportedly detained, and safe havens are no longer viable. There will be no deals. There will be no mercy. The Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, is primed and awaiting final sync to reveal decades, if not centuries, of deception. Worldwide military raids intensify. Special operations teams have launched precision strikes on deep state nodes across multiple continents. Reports confirm Ukraine has been exposed as a central hub for black-budget bioweapon development, money laundering operations, and trafficking corridors. Underground biolaboratories have been secured, their contents documented and sealed for tribunals. On U.S. soil, high-value targets include Denver International Airport and the Dulce Base in New Mexico, both long suspected of harboring advanced technology and classified programs. These facilities have now been neutralized. What's emerging is evidence of illegal cloning programs, child trafficking tunnels, and even locations tied to satanic ritual abuse. Global underground networks destroyed. Massive underground networks beneath major cities, including Los Angeles and Vatican City, have reportedly been cleared. In LA, tunnels held victims, forbidden technology, and disturbing evidence of human experimentation. Beneath Vatican City, elite forces uncovered ritual chambers, confirming long-held allegations of abuse and ancient pacts. This is the kind of disclosure that will shake the foundation of faith-based institutions across the globe. Starlink enters the battlefield. And now, the battlefield goes digital. Elon Musk's Starlink AI, dubbed Prometheus, has reportedly seized control of global communication systems. Deep state networks have lost their encrypted safe zones. Prometheus is now intercepting and decoding all chatter in real time. Massive cyber attacks planned against resistance groups have been neutralized. Even more shocking, reports of EMP strikes targeting deep state research outposts in Greenland and the South Pacific. Starlink has officially been confirmed by insiders as a weaponized communications grid, now in the hands of patriots. EBS will reveal the unthinkable. When the emergency broadcast system goes live, it won't just be about election fraud or political corruption. It will reveal the entire global illusion. According to insiders, expect revelations about robotic and AI puppet leaders, alleged synthetic replacements for Biden, Macron, and others, controlled by deep state handlers. Secret space operations, raids on black site bases beyond Earth, including the Moon and Mars. Weather modification weapons, devices recovered from Alaska, Norway, and China capable of triggering hurricanes, earthquakes, and droughts. Mass arrests and media collapse. The list of arrests continues to grow. High-level figures within the Rothschild and Rockefeller families have allegedly been taken into custody. Their assets are being seized and rerouted. In Hollywood, the disappearance of several celebrities has raised alarm. These are not publicity stunts. The detentions are said to involve trafficking, propaganda, and psychological manipulation operations. Even the media isn't safe. Executives from mainstream outlets have reportedly been arrested. with proof surfacing that major news narratives were crafted by intelligence agencies. These weren't journalists. They were actors playing a role in one of history's most elaborate illusions. GESARA and the financial reset. As the deep state's financial grip collapses, GESARA is being quietly implemented. Multiple reports confirm that debt forgiveness has begun. Student loans, mortgages, and credit obligations are being wiped. The quantum financial system, QFS, has absorbed the Federal Reserve, and offshore funds stolen over decades are being repatriated. The transition to Patriot-controlled sovereign banking is underway. Final countdown. What's next? Controlled regional blackouts are expected as systems are transitioned to secure channels. These are not attacks. They are part of the operational shield to protect assets, evidence, and civilians. Patriots, we are witnessing the collapse of the deep state empire. What was once called conspiracy theory is now headline reality. For those who were mocked, silenced, or censored, vindication is here. But this is just the beginning. As always, trust the plan, protect your family, and stay alert.
Man, that's a lot right there, bro. Yeah, go ahead.
So the first thing that stand out is the raid in the Vatican. That took place in 2018. That was when they brought the 650 plain loaves of gold back to America that the Vatican had on catalog that belonged to us over here. Right. That went to a bunker in Colorado. It's not too far from Raven Rock, but it's a secure location, and it's replacing Fort Knox as the repository of gold. Right. You can actually get to it from Raven Rock by underground passage, but it's actually, the base is actually in another part of the state. It might even be in another state, but it's on the west of the Mississippi. Remember, I said everything, all of the capital and all of the state buildings, everything got to move west of the Mississippi River, because that's how we have to reclaim it, because the flip is required. So from DC, everything got to move out of there, because they're going to destroy them sigils that they call streets. Right? So they're going to end up, most of the people in DC probably going to have an option to have a house anywhere they want in the country, or a farm. You know, so because all that's going to be demoed. They got sigils to control our energy carved in the ground, and the activity and movement of people generates the kinetic energy that vibrates their sigil, and it causes the reaction across the land. Right? So to break free, and so they don't work no more, you have to tear them up. You have to reroute the ley line, or repattern how you draw energy from the ley line. So most of DC gonna be gone unless it's some of it kept to be like a historical, this is what happened site or something.
Yeah. So you see, so based on what they said about the underground tunnels and the children and all the people that was being tortured, this was going on worldwide. It seemed like
it was. Matter of fact, most of the LA tunnel, the New York tunnels, the Chicago, they was all cleared out in 2017.
Yeah, I remember that when they in North Carolina. It's one. I think it was one in North Carolina too.
Yeah, remember they had the tent that was taking the rescue babies from the underground city in New York. The tent was set up in Central Park. It's called a triage center.
Yeah, I remember.
Right, and that's where they was taking the babies they was pulling out of there.
Yeah.
Then they was taking all of the ones to a military base down in Texas that was actually it was decommissioned as a military base, and then they recently activated it to be the housing for the orphans that they was bringing, and to try to determine which ones, you know, was viable
Right.
psychologically.
Yeah.
Because
Because
some of them, when they go through that kind of trauma, they're a detriment to themselves and others,
yeah, that's right.
you know. So they had to keep them under control conditions.
Uh-huh.
But the other ones was able, some of them was placed with foster families in the meantime. We don't call them foster families. We say somebody took them in. You don't know nothing about no foster.
Yeah,
What foster? Foster Silver?
yeah, could you go in on CPS? CPS, Child Protective Services, they said that they got infiltrated by these same guys, and they actually flipped the script. Instead of was helping the kids, they were pulling the kids out to put them into this ring, into this society or whatever.
They had it was a group of special forces that had got out of the military, and they formed a child rescue organization, and then they was how can you say it, commissioned as an asset to military intelligence in order for them to assist in the tracking down of these networks.
Uh-huh.
So it was like hiring the private military that's already doing the work to continue doing the work and give you the intel. From the intel, from different rescues of different groups of children and the routes taken, you were able to then draw on the war board a pattern. So all roads lead back to a source.
Yeah, our roads lead to Rome.
There you go. And so that's Buckingham Palace has also been cleared.
Yeah.
Right? That's when the crest fell off the gate. I don't know if y'all remember that a few years back, but one of the crests fell off the gate. That was the breaking of that family's right to rule from Buckingham Palace.
They said that Prince dude, he moved out. He live in the Dracula dude palace with adopted kids. You heard about that? About the prince? He like once her son, he's supposed to become the king, right? But Prince Harry, he moved. They said that he had to move out, and then he moved to a palace that they got in Transylvania somewhere. That's the house passed down from Dracula. You heard about that?
Harry came over here with Meghan Markle.
Okay.
You remember they was all at the basketball games together and stuff? Because they was she was more royalty than they was. So she get to pick where she want to live. And he can't do nothing but follow. And the royal family can't say nothing, because in royal family bloodlines, he ain't got no business with her in the first place. He's an artificial bloodline inserted, right, to give you the illusion that they the real royal family, and she got tricked.
That's right.
But when she go over there where the real royalty at, they got to evaluate her. You remember when they evaluated Princess Diana, they marked her for death.
I was just gonna say that, because she connect back with our Nana.
And they say that she not only was she higher ranked than Queen Elizabeth, that if she ever pulled rank, that would disrupt all of the royal families in the area.
That's why the queen got rid of her. She said
she would have been the heir. She was the heir to the daughters of Europa.
Yeah.
Direct line. The daughter of Europa was one of the seats of the daughters of Isis over Europe. In order to see the 13 bloodlines. Isis bloodline is number 13, makes up all of the rest of them.
Diana Isis. Yeah, Diana is one of our Nana's names. Diana.
Yeah.
You're a little cold. Go ahead.
So they marked her for death because her bloodline ranking and her personality she rather help people than take from people.
Yeah.
And they couldn't have that. They can't keep you enslaved giving you stuff for free.
Now, here's another piece to this, Raw. You heard about something like this? It's this lady named Arizona Wilder. Something echoing. Hey, she named Arizona Wilder, and she came out and said that she was a part of that ring, the child ring, and she goes into detail on how these the queen and the family, so-called royal family, who really usurped in 1837, King George now, who were dark-skinned Moors, but that's another story. But Queen, they said this lady said that they were shade shift into reptilians and then eat children, drink their blood. Like for a rip, they had to do it every couple months or every couple 30 days or so to hold their form. She said they were shade shift. Go ahead.
That's that statue we showed the people when they was eating the babies. That's what they talking about. Remember, I told you that the reason they got kicked out of Europe was for eating babies and having sex with babies.
Right.
Right. And drinking adrenochrome and torturing them.
Right.
They growing up in people's houses just taking their babies, they infants, and doing all kind of stuff with them, eating them, drinking their blood.
Yeah.
You know, making custard out of their livers and all kind of stuff.
See.
Right.
Okay.
So they eating the babies and then they raping the women. Right. The men can't sit there and not do nothing.
Right.
Like they doing now. Because if you sit there and don't do nothing, eventually when they get done raping the women, they're gonna rape the men.
Right.
They say if
Right.
what kind of man is you? You won't stand up for your wife and your daughter, your mama and your sister. You ain't worth the air you breathing. And we'll kill each other rather than trying to determine what's taking place before we start to kill. Because when you born in a war zone, you grow up inhaling the pheromones of war.
Right.
You become naturally combative and defensive. And the only ones you know how to defend is the closest ones to you.
Right.
Right? So when you go into war mode, anybody say something out the way, do something to them, you gonna holler at them. That's nature.
Right.
Right? You defensive of the pack, but the problem is the artificial pack that's been infiltrated by foreigners masquerading as us.
Right.
Right? That sick us on each other and they ain't never around when the shit go down.
That's deep. That's deep. Hey, so Rod, before I go to this next clip, let me ask you this last question. So, like, do you think because being that they extraterrestrials or whatever, interdimensional beings, and they don't feel the same type of morals that we feel, say we eat chicken, right? We eat chicken, we make chicken breasts and sandwiches and chicken pasta and all this. The chicken, if you was a chicken and looking at it from the chicken perspective, the chicken might be feeling the same way we feel about them eating our children. We eat eggs, children, fetuses. They fetuses, all this, and it ain't no problem. So, do you feel it's a moral guideline between them, these beings, interdimensional evil beings, and us?
It doesn't have anything to do with morality.
Okay.
That's just like our nature is to defend our babies and don't let them eat them, their nature is to eat them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It's just the realm of opposites. Remember, that's one of the Hermetic law, the law of opposites.
That's right.
Okay, now, if you're going to have a defender, he got to have something to defend against.
Right.
Right? And the only way he's going to know what to defend against is he got to know where you being attacked at.
Right.
Right? Once you get a good, clear understanding of where the attack coming from, now you can either fight the long war by fighting the soldiers, or you can go straight for the top and try to eliminate the generals,
Yeah, that's what we're
which will give you control of the soldiers.
right.
Right? You wipe out his generals, you wipe out the commander or their leader, and now you got control of their army without firing a single shot.
What if the chickens is plotting on us right now for doing them in?
The nature of the nature of the chicken is a prey animal.
Yeah.
The chicken is genetically designed to feed larger animals. Now, how do I know this? Every bird just about fly. Any bird that's that big and fat that can't fly. Even a turkey can fly.
Yeah.
But a chicken can't fly. That means that he have a designed nature to interfere with him escaping the dangers of a predator. All he can do is run around and squawk.
Yeah. Man, that makes
But
sense.
sometimes you got a game rooster that'll try to defend the pack.
Yeah.
Until he get put in the pot.
Yeah. And fried it.
Yeah. So the chicken is genetically designed to be a prey animal. Nature provides prey animal for predatory animals.
That makes sense.
Right? To feed on. If nature thought cannibalism or carnivores or carnivorous animals feeding on other animals was a negative thing, why would nature do it? Nature do it out of necessity.
Right.
Nature follows the law of necessity. The law of necessity says if it's necessary to do it, then you do it. If it's not necessary, don't do it.
Right.
Right? All of the things that we see strange in other animals, and we be like, that has no use. It got a use for that animal. But it don't have a use that you can comprehend because you didn't create that animal and you didn't design that piece to do that function. It's like our appendix, right? They've been trying to figure out what is the purpose of the appendix. They still ain't figured it out, right? So they sitting at the tonsils. They call them a vestige organ of a bygone era when they had a function and the use when we was in a different state of existence as mammals. So those are carryovers that we don't need in this reality, in this incarnation, but we all got it.
Yeah.
Nature wouldn't have let us keep it this long when it got rid of everything else that we didn't need.
Right.
We still needed to be furry, but nature stripped us naked.
Right.
Forced us to use our brain to make clothes. Why would nature do that? Right? If nature don't do that and you can be warm with fur, you wouldn't use your brain to develop clothes.
Right.
So nature put you in the condition to force you to think about a situation and solve the problem as the most highest evolved of the intellectual mammals.
Makes sense.
Right? So nature teaches you by creating a necessity to force you to adapt. Your adversity is only tolerable up until when the flip comes, your ability to receive your reward. Some people can take more suffering than other people. So they have to do functions in the family structure that the ones that can't take the weight of the punishment can't stand to lose. It's too much for them, but for you, it's nothing. Right? So once you understand the concepts of how nature is using nature to teach you naturally, then it's easier for you to see the patterns in everything around you because everything is cyclic and it's in patterns.
Hey, I was talking to one of the elders one time and he was telling me a whole bunch of stuff about how the land used to be before the colonizers came. And he was saying that before they came over here, that we didn't really eat birds. That we like the chicken. We didn't. The chicken, he said the chicken is like an offspring of a bird called a dodo bird. And he said that when what happens is when the Europeans got over here, the birds, because we used to feed them the fish guts. When we used to go to the river and fish, we get the fish guts, throw them to the birds. And so we didn't eat them. They used to walk right up to us, like we were friendly with them. But when these European Moors came, they see this bird walk up to them like, they say, "Oh, this bird dumb. This bird don't got no. Let's kill him." They started killing all of them and eating them, and then, but we didn't really eat birds over here. Birds were spiritual animals over here, especially like the eagle and like the hawk, different things like that. So, do you think
we ate birds?
Yeah, certain types.
But we didn't eat birds of prey,
right?
Because they're spiritual rank, because they fly the highest in altitude.
Right.
And we didn't eat the condors, the vultures and buzzards, because they was required to be the cleanup crew. We knew they was necessary as the cleanup crew for the decaying carcasses that would spoil the land if it was too many of them.
Uh-huh.
So the reverence for the cleanup crew to be able to dispense with the decaying corpses is the same reverence as the predator able to see from 200 miles in the sky or 2 miles in the sky a rodent running down and swoop down and grabbing.
Yeah, hawk good at it.
Right. Those are symbols of different types of chief. Right. The cleanup crew is the big heavy lifting soldiers that comes up at the end when everybody else done had a chance to resolve the matter. The cleanup crew come in and they clean shit up. That's it. And nothing to talk about. Right. It's a dirty job. So I know I'm gonna get dirty, but it's gonna get cleaned up. Right. Then you have your high thinkers, the ones who's painting the tapestry of what you need to see. Those are the ones with the eagle eye, the hawk eye. And you can tell by the name of the chief what totem energy, because those animals represent an energy frequency that we can also use.
Right.
As a totem animal. But our reverence for that animal have to be the same as that animal reverence for us in reciprocity.
Right.
Right. So the animal that strikes your heart chord becomes your totem animal first. Right. And when you're born with a totem animal spirit guide, then those are some of the strongest spirit guides to have when you on earth, because they keep you out of shit or they keep you in a bunch of shit.
Right.
It just depends on the nature of the totem animal.
That's good stuff. That same elder also told me, he said, if you go to a place, if you don't see no buzzards or vultures, don't live there, because ain't no good food. Ain't no good food there. Ain't no vultures.
That's because it goes to the mythos of the corpses spoiling the land. When the land is spoiled, the food is no good.
That makes sense. All right, we'll roll that next one.
Okay. Y'all didn't believe me when I made the video when the lights go out. Yo, Gen X. I told you this had everything to do with us. 1960 to 1980. The flip. The first shall be last and the last shall be first. The slaves' masters shall become the slaves and the slaves shall become the masters. He said trust the plan. Damn. He said trust the plan. This is in full play, y'all. The flip. Gen X is the 50th Jubilee. I've been saying that. Debt forgiveness. Jubilee is all about debt forgiveness and returning back what is naturally yours. You can't see it. A lot of people are gonna have criticism about this content. I don't care. I got a ground that's strong that'll pump this video out and make it go viral. But I'm telling you, he said trust the plan. Who is he? T-Man. T stands for the cross bearer. Look it up. Before it became one pillar with the cross pillar, it used to be a T. That's why he was picked, the cross bearer, to basically put everything back in its natural order. Now, here's the plan. Iran keep talking about they're going to do something over here to his major creditors. That's part of the plan too. Why? Debt forgiveness, part of Jubilee. Now, you're paying attention to the 14th Amendment. If you're not a slave baby descendant, well, this is where Gen X come in at 1960 to 1980. What? Now you know. The flip is in full play. That's why I made that video when the lights go out. I hope you enjoy my content. Don't let nobody tell you something different. They can hit you with all type of creations of whatever they want to put out, but I'm gonna bring you the truth. This is actually taking place, guys, whether you see it or not. And I guarantee you, how many motherfuckers are gonna run up and say, I got 1% of blood in me to say I'm a descendant of a slave, and them man's gonna be like, hell no, get your ass. Ice, 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 ice. Peace. Oh, by the way, he tired of you motherfuckers playing the system, claiming that you native and you ain't native, and claiming that you got a drip of black blood in you, you ain't black. That's why he came out with this shit. Here come ice. Bye now, here.
Wow, that's crazy. That flip happening, just like you said.
Yeah. So, I've been talking about the flip for ever since I knowed you.
Yeah.
Right. So this is just another person that's seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, telling y'all what he see. The convergence is when the algorithm is showing this. We didn't took over. But we don't know we took over yet, and we don't know what it feel like once the takeover has took place. Because we don't remember it happening in a time when we can understand what it would feel like, what it would look like, right? But the flip is the changing of the guard from the old system to the new.
Right.
All of the old stuff, the analog, is being shut down, going to the digital. The same way we going from iron-based carbon to gold-based crystalline. Most of us don't know that. When the crystals in the DNA activate the dormant DNA, that's going to be full activation of what you really are.
Right.
Most of us think, oh, we just humans. But our DNA ain't turned on yet. A human is just an avatar for something much greater. In the frequency that comes through the DNA determines how much of the higher energy will be able to facilitate that avatar. How much of your spiritual energy are you able to project into the 3D?
Right.
And the ones who can do it, they become your entertainers of society, your artisans, your painters, your poets, your storytellers. And they harness in the high spiritual frequency, and then they describing the realm around them in terms that somebody later would come along to determine what the earth has went through on the watch of these artists. So it goes from hieroglyphics to now, but that's going to change because the language is going to change.
Right.
The symbols going to change, right? The geography going to change. The geometry going to change. It all is part of the rewrite of the history for the next 26,000 years. So this right is the golden age coming in, trying to figure out how to advance the civilization even higher.
Right.
To higher realms of consciousness where you can operate a 6-dimensional self in a 3-dimensional platform to bring about different ingenuity to the reality, expressing your God self, right? And you become co-creator with the creator while the creation is creating itself.
Right. So it pretty much was inevitable. Like being that we go into the sun cycle, it's like it was only a matter of time before this is gonna have to happen anyway. It was like no way around it, really. It was gonna do it with or without us. Without us, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the cycles. The only ones that's gonna do something is the ones that's genetically programmed of what to do.
Right.
Everybody don't know what to do because they ain't supposed to be. It might be above their pay grade. But some of us came down here with a mission.
Right.
So we decided to do what we had to do.
Right.
Right? Spiritually, nobody on earth from earth, including none of the animals. We are spiritually projected into this 3D to experience the consciousness and all of the 3-dimensional laws, which gives us data in the 4th dimension, 5th dimensional form. Right? So we make malleable the world around us by general consensus of what we accept to be true. Because ain't nothing true until we say it's true. Because if you don't tell yourself it's true, it's part of the illusion and you see through it. But soon as you agree to accept the truth of it, whether you deceived or not, you became a willing participant in the 3D construct. And that's why you ain't supposed to choose sides to maintain your balance in life. Some people stuck to the right trying to be too righteous.
That's right. You got a point.
Some people stuck to the left because they can't break free from the wickedness.
That's right.
Right? But we walked the straight path. So that's the Mr. King.
The green light, the neutral zone. Look, hey, that's what I was telling you about earlier, where I said that they said that we was nice guys. In Latin, that means stupid, right? Because they spoke Spanish, right? They said nice means stupid in Spanish, but they said we were nice guys. And then they turned around and said that we were Indian givers, meaning that, hey man, we just let you hold that gold. We weren't giving it to you. Could you go in on that, the Indian giver thing with like how you had explained about Manhattan? When you tell me about Manhattan?
that's the story in Manhattan. When you look up how much Manhattan was purchased for, it was for some trinkets. Hold on one second, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, we got that part. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm looking this up. Go ahead.
We had that. They said that we was nice or we was kind or whatever, but we still had that part that say, "Hold on, sucker. Hold on now, sucker." See, we got that part. Once you start going too far, now hold on. Big Mama wasn't no punk. Now she gonna say, "Hold on, sucker. You going too far now." You had that part right. But yeah, you pull it up. He pulled it up, y'all, about the Indian giver story about how they purchased. Was it $50, $100, or something? They purchased.
Now, pay attention to this. Manhattan was sold to the Dutch in 1626 for goods valued at 60 guilders, which is often translated as about $24 at the time.
Wow.
The transaction occurred between Dutch representative Peter Minuit and members of the Lenape tribe, though the understanding of land ownership likely differed significantly between the two groups, right? So what made them come up with the term Indian giver? No chief that's from the land will sell you any land. Land is not for sale. It's by heritable birthright on the mother line only. Any of those sharecropping agreements where you see a man name on there, he was giving the land away from under the women. And he was probably an imposter, pretending to be our great-great-great-grandfather. Right? All the time, he was the Samuel L. Jackson in the house. He the one took control of everything, and then he turned around and hired Paleface as a management crew to buffer him from the ones in the family that's out in the field talking about, what is this Negro doing up in the house?
Right.
You see, that we couldn't figure it out because the house Negro is comfortable being us with massa,
Right.
right? But he ain't comfortable with we out in the field.
Right.
You see? So it got to be something else. When we understood that the sweetheart swindle was in play, then we understood who the frauds was, because they used that sweetheart swindle to give the control of the land over to the system that supported the family that they worked for over in Europe.
Right.
How do we know it was over in Europe? Because all of the money went to Europe.
Right.
It didn't stay here. America haven't done significant infrastructural improvement in years.
Go ahead, talk about it, Rod.
This is because the money was never intended to keep up the upkeep over here. It's like, what's the little crazy boy from That's So Raven?
Oh, you talking about Orlando Brown. Lando.
Yep. He said something that a lot of people went over their head. Why America don't look like Dubai? It used to.
Yeah, that's who I heard it. That's who I heard it from, right?
He said, why it don't look like Hong Kong? It used to. Right? And he was pointing out cities that's advanced architecturally,
right?
The use of beautification of the environment and the structural architecture designs that used to be here.
Right.
When they describe it, remember, Tartaria means west of Rome. And the easternmost point of Rome on America is DC, which was originally Rome. Right? Because it was the first place that the church stuck their flag with the good ship Plymouth.
Go ahead.
Right? So once they declared that Rome, everything west of Rome was destroyed. For mud floods, by blowing dams,
right,
and using the underground aqueduct system that they was controlling out of Philly at one point, but now it's controlled by underground networks. You can flood anywhere if you don't use it, if you just open it wide up. We knew not to do that.
Right.
In order to provide water to parts of the land that hasn't seen moisture in a long time to prevent desert conditions. Even where the desert is, the only reason why it's the desert is because of nuclear fallout.
Right. They test nuclear weapons.
Over here, Africa,
yeah.
the Middle East, the newest part of the earth, the Middle East, the East in the middle. How the hell you get that?
Yeah.
Anyway, the deserts of the world are not normal. Earth was once almost totally tropical in temperature from pole to pole.
Yeah.
Only reason why it have seasonal temperatures now is because of the change in the orbit.
Right.
And the change in the size of the Earth after they blew a big chunk of it off, creating the asteroid belt.
That's right.
Right? So now everything comes full circle. Like we going back to an alignment in the original birth clock of the earth.
Right.
Every time we get here, it's time for the rebirth of a new cycle. In India, they call it the yugas. Right? It's the ages. Every eon, age, it's changed. In the last 6,000 years, nobody was allowed to come in mythic form.
Right.
That was part of the 26,000 year cycle. That's when the so-called devil got to reign the rule. He had to fight this war on earth because it was cast to the earth. So the war got to be fought on earth. So the angels and the demons got to look alike.
Right. Yeah.
So the only way you're going to be able to tell them is by character and disposition and motive. What they feed off of. Some people feed off other people's suffering. Devil.
Right.
Don't make them bad. It just make them the devil, the enemy, the adversary, the opponent.
Right.
Now you got two options to do with that devil. You're going to either convert that devil to an angel or you're going to get away from him, because if you stick around too long, you're going to cause your downfall.
I'll make you a devil. The devil, I'll turn you into a devil, man. That's his main option, main goal. He want to make, because look, it said that in the beginning, it says that he gonna make evil look fair seeming, or it says that the devil wait at the door. Doc used to teach on that about like the devil throw the parties, he invite you, and then once he get you there, get you going, you start throwing the parties, then you become the devil. You become the one. You know what I'm saying? That's how he works, man. You know. Let's roll that other clip so we got a couple more clips and we going through time. Let's get a couple more rolled out.
Fellow patriots, as of today, it's no longer theory. It's operational. Continuity of government protocols are active. The United States, as we knew it under the corporate framework of 1871, has quietly transitioned into a military-led, constitutionally restored republic. Commander-in-Chief Donald J. Trump is now at the helm of a military-grade operation so vast, so silent, that only now are the pieces starting to fall into place for the public to see. Let's break it down. The deep state is cornered. On Wednesday, July 9th, 2025, a historic moment took place in Leeuwarden, Netherlands. EMO 477, an international tribunal, has officially put Pfizer, Bill Gates, Mark Rutte, and Ursula von der Leyen on trial for crimes against humanity. This isn't theater, this is legal warfare, targeting the architects of a global health deception. Meanwhile, whistleblowers tied to suppressed cancer cures like ivermectin are turning up dead. Coincidence? Or cleanup? One brave soul exposed the truth, and now that voice has been silenced. And if that wasn't enough, cloud seeding has been confirmed by even the mainstream media. The Texas floods? Manufactured. Deliberate. A targeted attack on Christian communities. Welcome to weather warfare. Long denied, now undeniable. EBS, encrypted, armed, and ready. According to Space Force insiders, the Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, is in encrypted standby mode. Final sweeps in Europe and Canada are nearly complete. The moment that switch flips, the entire mainstream media will go dark permanently. For 72 hours, your TV and radio will be overridden. And here's where it gets real. Blockchain elections will run during this blackout, controlled entirely by the military. Governments around the world will be ordered to stand down. Tribunals will be broadcast globally. Over 7,000 sealed indictments will be executed. Yes, big names. Hollywood, politicians, media CEOs. They've had their script. Now it's time for ours. The fall of the Federal Reserve. The signs are undeniable. On Wednesday, July 9th, Jerome Powell resigned as chairman of the Federal Reserve. That's not a retirement. It's the final nail in the coffin of a corrupt monetary empire. The Federal Reserve Corporation is dissolving. The quantum financial system QFS is live. Debt erasure is beginning. Mortgages, student loans, credit debt, wiped clean. Offshore trillions once used by global elites to manipulate economies. Repatriated. Timing the global reset. Here's what we're seeing in terms of rollout. Monday, July 14th. Banks worldwide will reset currency values. Tuesday, July 15th, global media blackout begins. EBS activates. Wednesday, July 16th, arrest warrants are executed. Thursday, July 17th, new public currency values go live. The impact will be immediate. Energy prices, food, then mainstream financial tickers will shift. Behind the curtain, the Federal Reserve is also shifting into a new wire format. ISO 2022, effective July 14th. If you're wondering why that matters, this is the digital infrastructure for the QFS. The old FAM wire format? Obsolete. Blockchain election? Death of the old guard. During this window, a military-controlled blockchain election will replace all previously rigged democratic systems. Quantum voting protected by Starlink will ensure every voice counts. No dominion, no deception. At the end of this, 90% of current government officials are marked for removal, tribunals, or worse. This is a purge of the old guard, a full reset of global power, deep roots, global crimes. This takedown isn't just about recent crimes. According to Kevin Annett, since as early as 1922, institutions like the Vatican, the Crown of England, and the Canadian government have colluded to erase entire indigenous tribes for land, for power, for control. Meanwhile, the FBI and CIA, two of the most powerful intelligence agencies on Earth, have actively covered up the Epstein blackmail operation. The client list? Buried. The survivors? Silenced. The system? Rotten to its core. But now the hammer is falling. Blackmail networks, trafficking routes, and propaganda machines are being dismantled. Final thought. As we move into the next critical days, understand this. The United States Corporation is dead. The 1776 Constitutional Republic is returning. Trump never left. He simply moved to the shadows to activate this operation at the precise moment of collapse. And now that moment is here. Prepare for media blackout, EBS activation, financial reset, and military justice.
Really, hey, Trump never stopped being president, really.
When we had war, he can't leave office.
Okay.
You can't have a valid election during wartime. You got to resolve the war first.
Right.
So it's the 2020 election was a military sting operation where they monitored everything and caught all of the people that was sabotaging the election by audio recordings, video recordings. They got everything. They got the whole thing. They got the internal memos, the text messages that was related to stealing the election. When 2020, when we were saying this, people was calling us batshit crazy.
Yeah, I remember.
Right? But now they about to find out. We knew we was talking about the whole time. And we knew Biden wasn't never the president. That became evident in the second swearing to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Right? That's why he can't put his hand on there to swear in a second time, because he already in office.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't need to put your hand on the Bible to recite your oath.
Right.
Right? You stand there and you recite the oath. That's what you originally said you came to do. Remember, he was recruited by the military in order to lead the operation for the public perception.
Right.
Central casting. They are actors.
You know who Trump remind me of? You remember the movie Frank Lucas? You know that white boy that was after Frank Lucas, the main guy that was after Frank Lucas. Like he played dirty. He knew the way he plays. Like he's like, yeah, I know I played dirty to did things to catch you, but you take a bad guy to catch bad guys. It's kind of like that. Like you take a guy that know what they know to catch them. Like Trump know all their hangouts. He was at their parties. He know about Einstein, right? He know all they moves. So it's like, yeah, he was the best card to play because hey, I know they hang out here. I know they underground stores. I know how they rig it. Remember, you told us on the last, I think it was about two shows ago. You said that Hillary Clinton said something to Trump, and then Trump said, "Yeah, I know it's rigged because I use it." The system.
Yeah,
right?
he's talking about the system. He's talking about the system and the tax laws.
Yeah.
Right. And not only that, you gotta remember, Trump, the first one who reported Jeffrey Epstein to the FBI.
Mm.
If he was doing dirt with Epstein, why would he be the first one to report it?
Yes.
Epstein is not on their radar until Trump complained about him taking little girls from Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
And then they made him go undercover and get all the information he could. There's a whole lot to that, to the layout of that Trump story with Epstein, and the modeling agencies and all of that stuff. Because remember, Trump used to own the Miss America pageant.
And that's where his old lady connected with it. She was one of them supermodel chicks.
That's why you see Epstein in all of those pictures with Trump. He was using his Epstein connection to hook him up with the modeling agency that overseen her. Then he paid for them not to molest her. He didn't want her molested, but then he told her, learn everything you can.
Yeah.
That's why she know all their signals. She know all their business. But they wasn't allowed to touch her because Trump paid a lot of money.
So do you think that the 9/11 thing gonna come back up? Because we know that was an inside job. We know that they named in that paperwork that Trump got about. I know 9/11 in there. That's like one of the calendars.
They already released those files.
Yeah, they did.
They still released the files, and they accused in the files say that it was George Bush, Dick Cheney, and one more guy, Donald Rumsfeld.
Yeah, it was a
They was the ones who was following out the old man Bush orders. Remember, the real reason they went in Iraq is because Saddam Hussein had a hit on the old man Bush. That's why they went in Iraq. It had nothing to do with 9/11. 9/11 was what they call a prelude to war.
Yeah.
You have to cause a condition to get the people to support you going to war.
Yeah.
9/11 was the condition they created.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's roll that next one. We got a couple more. Man, it's a lot going on right now, I tell you, boy.
Over the last few years, 3 big things that hadn't happened in my lifetime prompted me to do this study. First, countries didn't have enough money to pay their debts, even after lowering interest rates to 0, so their central banks began printing lots of money to do so. Second, big internal conflicts emerged due to growing gaps in wealth and values. This showed up in political populism and polarization between the left, who want to redistribute wealth, and the right, who want to defend those holding the wealth. And third, increasing external conflict between a rising great power and the leading great power, as is now happening with China and the United States. So I looked back. I saw that all these had happened together before, many times, and nearly always led to changing domestic and world orders. The last time this sequence happened was from 1930 to 1945. What exactly is an order, you might ask? It's a governing system for people dealing with each other. There are internal orders for governing within countries, typically laid out in constitutions. And there is a world order for governing between countries, typically laid out in treaties. Internal orders change at different times than world orders, though whether within or between countries, these orders typically change after wars. Civil wars within countries, international wars between countries. They happen when revolutionary new forces defeat weak old orders. For example, the U.S. internal order was laid out in the Constitution in 1789 after the American Revolution, and it is still operating today, even after the American Civil War. Russia got rid of its old order and established a new one with the Russian Revolution in 1917, which ended in 1991 with a relatively bloodless revolution. China began its current internal order in 1949 when the Chinese Communist Party won the Civil War. You get the idea. The current world order, commonly called the American world order, formed after the Allied victory in World War II, when the U.S. emerged as the dominant world power. It was set out in agreements and treaties for how global governance and monetary systems work. In 1944, the New World Monetary System was laid out in the Bretton Woods Agreement and established the dollar as the world's leading reserve currency. A reserve currency is a currency that is commonly accepted around the world, and having one is a key factor in a country becoming the richest and most powerful empire. With a new dominant power and monetary system established, a new world order begins. These changes take place in a timeless and universal cycle that I call the Big Cycle.
All right, you
So-
want me to roll now? Oh, go ahead.
That one was explaining what I was telling you about the changing of the Federal Reserve monetary system, the BRICS dollars, damning the dollar back home, because it's no longer accepted in BRICS nations as a reserve currency, right? So all that was telling you the banking side and the history tied to it, that the banking systems was being used to siphon the wealth of the nation, of the people, and the people never seen any benefits of the wealth they generated,
Right.
right? And this is why our major cities look so blighted, because the wealth has been strangled out of them by foreign interests. The foreign interests they the reason we have a perpetual Congress. If you remember, in early constitutional law, Congress only met for a couple weeks out the year,
Right.
right? Now they meet every damn day. You had to make them take holidays in order to get them from up there, and they all are lobbyists and special interests, and they all are influenced by their donors. Their largest donors are the ones that can control them the easiest, because it's the financial backing. You got to remember, after every time you go through a campaign, whatever money left, you get to keep.
Right.
Right. So every so many years they run for office, and then people give them these massive donations that they don't need because ain't nobody running against them of any value. But that money end up being their personal wealth.
That's crazy, man.
Politics in America, baby.
Hey,
When you know how the game plays, you can explain it to the rest.
This right here system getting ready to burn, baby, burn. I'm telling you, burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno.
What if I told you the recent clash between Elon Musk and Donald Trump wasn't a feud? It was a trap. And not just any trap. A military-grade sting-op that exposed over 16,000 global traders in 72 hours. Let's break this down. On June 5th, Musk launched what looked like a public split from Trump. The media pounced. The deep state cheered. But behind the scenes, Space Force was watching, and they had a plan. Within 3 days, digital fingerprints, communication logs, and biometric data from thousands of globalist operatives were collected. The QFS, Quantum Financial System, logged every movement, every encrypted chat, every failed attempt to erase the evidence. Total count, 16,382 names flagged. NGOs, globalist banks, EU intelligence, private corporate nodes, all exposed. They thought Musk was turning rogue. Instead, he baited them right into the spotlight. And the fallout? Immediate. The Vatican Bank froze suspicious channels, including ones tied to Epstein-linked laundering through UNICEF Italy and WFP Europe. Hours later, the emergency broadcast system began quiet testing in 9 U.S. states, totally under the radar. The elites knew. They panicked, but it was too late. Meanwhile, big tech entered full panic mode. On June 7th, Meta, Google, and Microsoft scrambled to contain the story, trying to sync data, scramble QFS nodes, and flag any sting operation narratives as disinfo. But their efforts failed. Why? Because you can't breach Starlink's encrypted backdoors. Musk had already handed over the intel. And speaking of Starlink, did you notice the sudden activation over South America and Antarctica? That's no coincidence. Space Force tracked escape flights from the Rothschilds and other elite families trying to vanish through remote routes in Patagonia. It didn't work. Their movements were logged in real time. They triggered the system themselves. Let's go deeper. After Musk reignited public awareness of the Epstein network, the Clintons suddenly canceled all public appearances. Reports say their private jet is grounded in Arkansas because 2 former Epstein associates, now under federal protection, are preparing to testify. Their testimony? It links unregistered charity flights to satellite data showing covert ops in Africa. That's not just suspicious, it's criminal. And then comes the confirmation. The final EBS window was set for June 10th through 17th. 3 sealed indictments, left over from the Obama era, are en route to Gitmo. And 1,100 media operatives tied to disinformation warfare are now being reviewed for military tribunals. So let me say this directly to the elites watching this. Your jets are being tracked. Your vaults are locked. Your secrets are recorded. The data is in Trump's hands, and the takedown has officially begun. But that's not all. While this digital sting was unfolding, FBI leadership under new directives quietly executed a massive sweep operation. Dan Bongino reported on Telegram that over 14,000 violent criminals have already been arrested, including cartel members and child predators. That's a 62% increase over last year. Among the apprehended, 825 child predators, 140 human traffickers, 3 of the FBI's most wanted zero tolerance. No delays. The murder rate is now projected to be the lowest on record. But that's not the end game. Over 700 organized rioters have been arrested in coordination with state and federal agencies. These aren't random street thugs. Many are linked to funded cells, trained in info ops and urban warfare. Their networks are being mapped and dismantled. On the immigration front, the numbers are even more explosive. 18,000 illegal aliens with violent histories were apprehended, imprisoned, or deported. And last month, 0 new illegal admissions. That's not just policy, it's a mission objective. Structural reforms at the FBI are still underway. Leadership purges, operational overhauls, and foreign intelligence agents conducting illegal acts on American soil, already flagged and pursued. Some operations remain classified. But make no mistake, they are happening. And soon those sealed files will be open for the world to see. This isn't just law enforcement. This is the final phase of a global takedown operation. The swamp is draining. The networks are collapsing. And for the first time, the Alliance isn't just reacting. They're in control. We were told to watch for the signal. We were told justice was coming. Now it's here. Stay informed. Stay prepared. Stay united. And above all, trust the plan.
Same thing, right, Rod?
Yeah. So you remember that one started off that Elon Musk turned on Donald Trump, but it was a sting.
Yeah.
Okay. If you go back to when it happened, Brother Rich asked me, he said, what do you think that is going on with Trump and Elon? I said, I don't know, but to me, it looked like they playing good cop, bad cop, trying to squeeze somebody in the middle. Right? So then this come out and it's explaining what they was doing. They was playing good cop, bad cop, trying to squeeze somebody in the middle.
And they sent a message by blowing up that Cybertruck in front of the Trump Hotel, whoever they was after.
Yeah, because all that was when they was trying to activate those sleeper cells. And then that one sleeper cell woke up and rode through New Orleans instead of going to get that little girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Allie. That's who they was putting the hit on.
And all of a sudden, yeah, like all of a sudden she pop out. Like she had been like right when all this happening, she come out. Diddy get arrested. Do you think Diddy is like a fall guy? I think Diddy was involved in some of this in some form or fashion, and he know a lot about it. Do you think they got Diddy out the streets because he could tell on? Because he could tell on some guys like Epstein and all of them? Because he was in New York with Epstein and all of them. You know Diddy know about Epstein, man. You know?
Look, only thing I gotta say about Diddy, if Clive don't go down with Diddy, Diddy wasted his time.
Right. Yeah, you got a point there. Number one guy.
Diddy was to all of them. Clive Davis, Larry Cohen,
L.A. Reid.
Yeah, L.A. Reid, Russell Simmons,
Yep.
even the ones out west, the ones that was associated with Tupac.
Yeah. Jones,
You know,
Jones, all of them.
well, Quincy was a non-consequence or a non-factor in what Puffy was doing, but he was still a gatekeeper.
Man, you heard that story about about Michael Jackson putting some hands on Tupac over Quincy Jones' daughter. They say that Michael Jackson was at a party, right? So they can say that Michael Jackson's at a party. He got Tupac is dating one of the daughters, right? The daughter who he dated. Yeah, she's sitting on Michael Jackson's lap, right, at the party outside. Tupac come out there. He's like, "What the hell going on?" He grabbed her up off of Michael Jackson, and he said, "Come on, get in the car, right?" And Mike said, "Hold on, you can't talk to her like that, right?" You know how Mike talk. He said, "Man, Mike, mind your business." And then they went back and forth. They say Tupac swung on him. Man, they say Mike got hands, bro. That's Joe Jackson's son. It's Joe Jackson's son, man. They say Mike ducked him, caught him with two. Then Tupac tried to grab him. They say Mike spin kicked him. They fell on the ground, started wrestling, then they broke him up. But everybody saying Mike won. Mike won the fight.
Listen, you got to remember, one of the reasons Joe Jackson made them start practicing music was to keep the oldest boys away from the BDs. Disciples was chasing people, forcing them to be members, and at a particular time, they was at Jackie and Jermaine. They wanted them to join. I think they give an overview of it in the Jackson movie. And Joe was like, "Y'all gonna go join nothing. Y'all gonna join this damn band." Right. And he formed a band to keep his boys out the street. And then Mike came in as a little boy singer. He just started singing one day, and they let him join in, and the next thing you know, you got the Jackson 5. But that's what that was all about. Now, that being said, Jackie got hands, Jermaine got hands. What do big brothers do to little brothers? Beat them up until they make them tough. Come on now. We know the culture. So it's even show you that they used to have conflicts with the brothers. They used to be fighting each other. That's what brothers do. Big brothers make little brothers tough. That being said, Mike traveling all around and them little girls jumping on him. He had a few scraps. We just probably never heard about it. Some little jealous hearted little boy with a broken heart wanted to knock his teeth out. I can guarantee you that. You know, you gotta remember, he was an adolescent all the way to, then he was a teenager. He was famous the whole time. So he had to eventually start hiring bodyguards. Oh, Purple Passion got hands too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Prince. Oh yeah, I heard stories about Prince put some hands on some guys, slapping a couple guys.
Yeah, whoop your ass with them stacks on.
I heard him about him slapping a couple guys up too. I was like, what? Prince slapping guys?
Yeah, Prince, they don't take the purple passion to be his motherfucking definition. That ain't all he was. Prince was using that to sell music and to be an artist. His dress style and his music ain't had nothing to do with his manhood.
Right. He dressed like a vampire to me, like from the medieval times, you know.
All that fluffy. That's European. That's European dress.
Yeah.
You call it French style. The French.
Yeah.
With the fluffy floofies and the fluffy wrist, that was the French.
Yeah. Man, you know something? They said P. Diddy used to slap guys up. and rough them up. But P. Diddy got some hands. I heard stories about him roughing guys up for real.
He got in a couple of fights Suge Knight. What did you talk about? When Wolf got killed in Atlanta, him and Suge had got into a fight.
What?
Right before that happened.
That's crazy, man.
Suge was trying to, big brothering, rough him up. He wasn't buying it. Then another time, Suge went into a dressing room where he was at, shut the door and said, "Don't nobody come in." And they was moving furniture in that mug. Nobody know who won, but Puffy ain't no punk on that level.
That's what I heard. Puffy got some hands too. Yeah,
Look, you can't grow up where most of us grow up and don't know how to fight.
Right.
You might not be the best, but somebody got to have some real good hands to beat you. Right. Especially when you one of them ones that stay to yourself and don't have no pack of niggas with you.
Yeah.
Right? And then they think, oh, he a lone wolf. I can whoop him. I got my boys with me, and sometimes him and his boys get whooped.
Yeah. It had been times where I heard that they said that Tupac was rowdy, right? And they said they had came in contact with Nas. And they said that Snoop Dogg said that, man, Nas had about, like, he used to roll with the Supreme crew. Them guys were real killers, man. Them guys, the Supreme guys, the 5% Supreme guys. They said that Tupac was acting all crunk, but Snoop Dogg said he had noticed like 3-4 guys with their hand in their coat. They were with Nas. He said, hey, they were about to get off on them. Tupac was trying to get off on Nas, but they were about to get off on them. He said he told Tupac to chill, man. It's no chill. It's something going on right now.
Nas said Snoop blew that all out of proportion.
Oh, Nas said it wasn't like that, huh?
He said Snoop blew that all out of proportion. He exaggerated it.
Okay.
He said they did meet up, but they wasn't hostile with each other out the gate.
Yeah.
They both felt they needed to have a conversation, and they, had to get their soldiers to stand down so they could have a conversation, and they had one.
Right. That makes sense.
I said that's all happened. They had a conversation. Now I didn't say go into no details about what they really talked about. But that was right after he did the Death Row East announcement.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it happened, right after that.
Yeah.
And then he told Nas, my bad, dog, I done dissed you in some tracks, man, before we had this conversation. He said, when I get back, I'm going to clean that stuff up. Next thing you know, he was in Vegas.
Yeah.
He didn't get to clean it up. But you got to remember, Nas was invited to be on that One Nation album, too.
Yeah. 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 Hey, what about your boy E40 Water? Because they say E40 Water, people say, man, you get into it, you diss him, and then you come to LA. Man, look, they say you don't need to come to LA if you diss E40, man. They say
San Francisco, the Bay.
Yeah, Biggie Smalls.
He's from the Bay.
Yeah, he from the Bay. They said it said Biggie Smalls had did a diss tape on him or said something about him. He did a show in San Francisco. Soon as he got out the show going to the limo, some guys, 2, 4, 5 big guys approached him with AKs, say, hey, you finna come with us. E want to holler at you. You know what I'm saying? He said, man, he got scared. They put a phone to his ear, and then E40 talked to him and told him let him go, right? But you didn't want to get
again. What is that showing you though?
Huh?
What is that? They had a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Most of us be beefing in the hood and don't even know why we beefing because we ain't never had a conversation with the person that's supposed to be our enemy.
Go ahead, right?
If we sit down and have a conversation and we be sincere, we might find out, damn, we got a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes
Maybe
sense.
we could turn something around in our community by having these conversations. Most of us don't know we was infiltrated by people that look like us, and we letting the people that look like us keep telling our kids to kill each other.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. We ain't hipping them to the game enough where they know how to move and how to sort out the enemy in their midst.
Right.
right? So we ain't giving them, or they ain't listening, one of the two. It's not a whole lot of people out there telling them that they got some people in y'all community that look like y'all that ain't y'all. They want to see y'all all fall.
Yeah. Yeah. Real tough.
Right? Once you understand that, though, you can say, okay, do I really need to go over and ride on them dudes, or is this dude souping me up? One of them ones that look like us.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Because once you understand how they move, they can't trick you no more.
Yeah.
You see it every time.
Yeah.
They do it every time. They'll go start some gunplay with somebody to get the team involved.
Yeah.
And then they don't have no off switch, but they ain't never around when the real drama happens.
Yeah.
Everybody get killed but them.
Yeah.
Everybody go to prison but them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Setup artists.
They say your boy MC Hammer wasn't no joke neither, man. They say you say something about Hammer, man. Some guys he had about 15 killers with it. For real. Like that was all his kin people. You didn't
Look,
want
the
to
guru Hammer got hands too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, remember, man, out west, they run that fade.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
They run that fade. Everything is not a shooting in the West Coast. They think every time that the gangs have a conflict, somebody gets shot. No, 90% of the time, there's no firearms involved. It's run that fade. I got a problem with you.
Right.
That's going all the way into the penitentiary. They first order ain't to stab nobody.
Yeah.
Run that fade.
Yeah.
But if it's a whole collision, a riot situation, well, whatever happened.
Yeah.
It's full blown chaos, survival at all costs. But that ain't they culture.
Right.
So guys like 40 Water and Hammer, growing up where they grew up, the locals wasn't gonna not let you be tested. You're not coming out this hood shining no bad light on us talking about we pumping out punks.
Right.
You're gonna be able to handle yourself wherever you go, or else you gonna shine a bad light on us. When they ask you where you from, and you tell them I'm from the Bay, they be like, oh, them Bay niggas soft. They not buying that. They not going to allow that to happen if they can do something about it.
Right.
But in this new era, we got the worst of the worst because they are threatening to shoot you and tell on you if you do something to them. I'm like, that ain't gangster at all.
Call the police if you do something. That's crazy. Let's roll this next one in, bro. We got like two more. We got two more to roll. Then we'll be taking.
An ancient Native American prophecy just came to pass in Yellowstone last week, and it has to do with this black wolf, and it's putting the religious and scientific communities into a tizzy. The prophecy was said by Chief Sitting Walker, the last chief of the Iroquois, or by Bruce Springsteen said it. I'm forgetting which one said it, but that's not what's important. What's important is the words in the prophecy. It said, the white men came and stole our naturage and our animalage and the lands of our fathers, and they will have them for now. But when a black wolf crosses the pathway south, well, this is a black wolf that crossed the pathway south last week in Yellowstone. These are super rare. Only 1 in 7 wolves are born with black furage, and so you don't ever see them in your lifetime. Well, last week, a resident here that was just visiting the park saw it cross the road south and filmed this video, and the experts are saying it's a fulfillment of the prophecy. The prophecy continues that when this happens, our sky cousins will come in clay saucer from the sky, and they will redeem the people and return the lands to the fathers of our land, is what it says. Well, last week as well, this was filmed above Yellowstone National Park, and people are saying it's a UFO and a UAP, and that this prophecy is starting, but a lot of people don't know what it means, that the lands will be returned, but I don't know. I'm curious what you think.
I also got that long one too. I'm about to roll it at 26 minutes. Started at 26 minutes.
Only let about 2 minutes play.
Okay, you want me to go and roll it?
Yeah.
I gotta get out of this one. And go right here to roll it. Cause it's 46 minutes. All right, let's see right here. baby. Come on. Hey, y'all, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We about to get lit.
Him again, and this time this one person Baptist came to me quickly, warning us, and they almost destroy themselves. But out of it, a new generation is coming, stronger, much better equipment, everything, powerful things going to be developed by these two people. Then the third one that will finally bring about purification of this land in this continent would be a man with red cap, red hat, or red cloak. Now, we do not know who that nation is or what people, but they say those people will have a large population, and they will also have much scientific inventions of all types. Very powerful nation going to be. So once he starts moving, these others too will join him with all their power and might. The three of them going to come here quickly together, and nothing can stop them. This time they're going to come right here. They say even they're going to come here so fast they come here for breakfast. Now this is nice clear day today, calm, everything nice. Tomorrow morning maybe we'll get up at breakfast time, then the whole sky will be dark. Old man said, I don't know what will cause it darkening of the sky. Then he said people will be raining from the sky. And in one day they're going to get control of this whole continent. And they're going to cut us up into 4 sections. And they're going to look for a leader that still remains, a native leader still remaining to the spiritual path. And to him they will gather people here to him. And they will say, these people that gave them the religion and the duty to produce things, to invent things, and to become powerful people. When they came here, what have they been doing to you? Now, suppose he was the last chief still remaining in this area. They will ask him, and they will say, well, those people have destroyed my people. They're taking care of and taking everything from my people, land, rivers, and hunting rights, and everything that I used. They just took it away from me against my opposition. Then those that have done that, what we call purification, would be the real wicked people. People have taken advantage of them in that manner. These figures had no heads on them. That will be their supreme punishment. Because right in daylight, right in public, they're going to weed out those bad people, and they're going to
Public executions.
And that is what they said will happen. That's first punishment.
Stop.
Then they say, what about these people here? And they will look.
Okay, now he gave 2 critical markers to look for. Right? He said the man with the red hat, or the nation of red hats, he said it's going to be a lot of them. So it's a lot of people wearing red hats or red cloaks or red caps, right? Then the next thing, when he pointed to that dark circle at the bottom, he says it's going to be one native chief telling the people about the old ways, why this is going on, right? Then he say the final punishment, the ones on the top, they gonna get beheaded as their punishment. And he say, in the awakening, they gonna ask that chief about how his people was treated. And he gonna say they took everything from us. So now we want everything back. Right? So the prophecy is fulfilling itself in real time. But we don't know what it looked like because most of us don't know the prophecies. Right? And the prophecy of the black wolf. Be it true or not, there's many black wolf legends throughout the tribes. And the thing that followed after the quoting whoever he was quoting was accurate to the prophecy of the Hopi that we just went over. Right? So they parallel to the same degree. You also had one prophecy of the white buffalo, and that white buffalo was born in North Dakota a couple years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right? Then there's another prophecy about the white elk. The white elk was seen in 2016. So all of this prophecies of these rare sightings of rare animals of their species are all signs for the shaman to read.
Right.
They don't mean nothing to regular people. It's just a pretty animal. But for the shaman from the land, it's telling him something. You can't see all this stuff back to back like this if it ain't telling you something. Now you got to translate it and see what it's telling you. Right? And that's how we get information to answer what's going on behind the scenes that they're not putting out in the public.
And he said some like the same. Like the other dude was saying some ships gonna come when the Black Wolf come. Then he was talking about some people coming down the sky. I may tend like the way he sound like it's some extraterrestrials like coming down. The way he was describing it. These guys,
there's gonna be 3 of them come from the ship.
It's the same thing I mentioned in the Bible. It says 3 men came to Abraham, and one of them was Lord. Man, this right here is so this was my questions, Rod. So all these earthborn prophecies really is just coming. It's fulfilling us to get back where we started. Like before the dirty guys came. Whoever they are before they came, we going back to the original ways. It's like it's a reset. It's a reset. Pretty much all these signs is a sign of a reset to a new age or a new beginning.
Yeah, we call it a restoration. Right. And as the brother said, it's called a jubilee. Right. Forgive our debts as we forget our debtors. Forgive us our trespass. Forget those who trespass against us. Right. But forgive don't mean forget, and it don't mean they don't need to be punished.
Right.
Because you forgive, that means that you don't hold animosity in your heart that keep you from rising up. But that don't mean that if you had an opportunity, you still can't behead them.
Right.
Some of them, you can't trust them. I forgive you, but I don't trust you. You got to go.
Right.
Right. So I'll be the one pull the lever on the guillotine concerto in the public domain and be smiling. What they did. you did it to us.
Right.
Well, I'm not gonna let you get away with it.
No, brother is in jail.
And won't even have one nightmare.
Yeah. Hey, you know something though? Your boy, man, I was just about to say it too. That's man, what's happening now? You know, it's like it gives you the goosebumps. Like how long is it gonna happen? In days or months? But it's happening. It's like it's happening faster than what we think, and then what you.
Yes, I call it the slow building, or the building falling slow.
Yeah.
Skyscraper. That mug look like it's falling slow till you trying to get from under it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you realize how fast it's really falling.
Yeah. Hey, we'll take a couple questions for the crowd, man. Hey, y'all, drop your chats, drop your questions in the link for Chief Raw Hayes. Whatever you got.
First 3, Elder.
We'll take 3, then we'll get out of here. We already over the time anyway, but it's all good. I ain't got nowhere to go. Hey y'all, if you want to show Brother Rod Hayes some love for the clash, you know how we do it. We got to keep Rod from working at the plantation, man. We got to keep him watching these suckers, man. 24 hours a day. We need Rod watching these suckers 24 hours a day. Keep us updated. Because like I'm telling you, man, it plays a big part even if you ain't physically out trying to stop these people, just by you being aware of what's going down, it's another nail to their coffin. You don't even know how much. Just you being aware of knowing what's happening, it's another nail to their coffin in the mental plane. I'm telling you, man, it's more powerful than what you know, just by you being aware. You know,
when the people realize somebody is actually telling us what they doing while they doing it, and it's all connecting the dots. That's how you get people to pay attention. Because they started like, how the hell did he see it? And then some people expect it to come from everybody except for where it came from. So you gotta remember, Trump had a military parade a few months back. The military parade is a signal of a victory. Right? Trump gave the first parade. They were still fighting forces in Eurasia. It went over that in the videos, right? When they was breaching tunnels all over the world. So now China declares its victory, but it do two things. They have a military parade, but they also have a meeting of what they call Eastern powers, Russia, North Korea, and a few other ones, right? Then while you seeing that, there's a picture, Trump is a photo op with all of the European powers sitting around his desk like he the king. Right? So all this is signaling the conclusion to an end. Now, the last thing they got to get is Natty Boy. When they get National Guard dispensed sufficiently enough to relieve them, but you still gonna see sheriffs and sheriff's deputies.
Somebody says, are the agents the real enemy because they the ones handling the food and the bad food videos in the restaurant in the hood? They here in the nail salons and the hair stores handling tech and medical.
Look, the tribes from over here have ancient pacts with the Asian tribes. And the key is the Lee. Everybody in the South got a compound name with Lee or a middle name Lee, right? Charlie Lee, Verdi Lee, Arthur Lee, Henry Lee, Bobby Lee.
Right.
That's told to an old alliance with Asian peoples. This is why some of the immigrants that they brought over here is telling us we the real original Asians. And they the ones that don't get no reservation assistance. They left in dire poverty. The ones who took sides with the invading forces, they living in luxury. They're well taken care of and well fed. That's how you know the difference in whose side they took. Look at most of the casinos, not all of them. It's only a couple of them that got up on their own merit.
Right.
But when the tribes was given the rights to establish casinos, one of the rules was they couldn't help the other tribes. That's why none of the casino tribes is helping any of the other tribes, because it's part of their casino guarantee. Now they can use it to take care of everybody in their tribe. So they get monthly or weekly allowances, and they be pretty fat checks too.
Yeah. I used to work at the casino.
So no, all of the Asians is not the enemy, just like all of them ain't friendly.
We'll take this last question right here, Rod.
The police never worked for the government. The police is chartered out of London, England. The Fraternal Order of Police have a sister fraternity in London. And the London prints out the police operational manual, which tells them how to police the people over here. They slave patrol.
That's all it is. Yeah, started in Amsterdam. They was slave patrol, and then they turned into the department. Department means they that's an oxymoron within itself. Hey y'all, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We got about 2,000 people on, man. Everybody send Rod $5. If you can't send them $5, send them $1. That'll put them in the game. Send them. If you really want to put them all the way in the game, man, you think you just feel like your good day, send them $100, man. Go ahead and put them all the way in the game. For real. Like we say, we want Rod watching these suckers 24 hours a day while the switch happen. We try to make this a smooth transition. We don't want to have to go out rough, get rough with these guys, because they, we can get rowdy. They don't really want to start no stuff with us, though. Really, like somebody was talking about, they want to start a racist war. I don't know if they want to start. I mean, they are the white people are prepared and they train, but we outnumber them 20-1.
The race war was a propaganda tool of Central Intelligence. Racism was part of the doctrine of domination. They had to create two opposing racial identities so that we be so busy hating each other for how we look, we won't never realize who's pushing the pieces from behind.
Right. Makes sense.
We'll never see the unseen hand. I grew up with everybody. Koreans, Vietnamese, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, black, white, Chicano, everybody.
Right.
Africans. And I discovered one thing. Good people gonna be good people.
Right.
And a damn idiot gonna be a damn idiot.
That's right. That's fact.
Right. And sometimes when an idiot get lumps, he straighten up too.
Right.
So tell him to run that fade or leave you alone.
I'll stand down the barrel of this 357 because they're iron to get your mind right. Like my grandma say, that iron to get your mind
we got to get away from the iron solving our problems. That's for emergency situations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Most of the time, people using these guns, it ain't no emergency situation.
Yeah, that's right.
If you reserve it for emergency situations, 9 out of 10, the murder rate will plummet.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody trying to kick your door in. Hey. But somebody trying to kick your door in, blow them to the streets.
Right. Hey, a brick upside your head to work though. A brick, at least the guy get to come back. He come back a couple hours.
Well, I don't got time to figure out if he gonna start shooting or not if he kicking my door in.
Yeah, right.
All I got time to do is know that if he get through that door, my family in here. But other than that, like most of us need to learn problem solving skills and communication skills, and half the beef will be gone.
Right.
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 Everybody, it's enough money for everybody. It's the system that told you it was a scarcity of money and everybody can't get, it ain't enough money for everybody.
Right.
That's not true. If it ain't enough, they can print some more. Right. Using the old system standard. They do it for themselves, but they can't do it for you.
Right.
So you got to know the difference between when violence is actually necessary versus when it's arbitrary and uncalled for. More innocent bystanders get killed than actual targets.
That's facts.
It'd be 4 people would die and the actual target got away.
Right. I seen it before.
So the understanding of when to use violence is critical.
Yeah.
Because it don't mean that violence ain't gonna be necessary. But then you gotta know what violence is sufficient to call the threat. Right? Most of the time you can run the fade. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. As long as you know I ain't gonna back down.
Right.
And I might come back when I go train a little bit sharper.
Yeah.
Because I should have seen that left hook which you caught me with. But now I'm going to see if you're going to catch this uppercut. You know what I'm saying? We might have to run that fade 3-4 times before we get this settled all the way out.
Straight up.
Right? But we ain't got to kill each other about it. Because when we get 30, 40, 50 years old, we're going to be laughing at what we was fighting about anyway. If we live that long and we got some sense. We got to re-instruct the youth. We got to retrain them, reteach them, because somebody taught us all wrong on purpose. It wasn't an accident, right? And they done it throughout the system, so it's systemic. Sister Soldier told us that a long time ago.
Right.
By cutting off the programs that we start to help ourselves, the government take control of the program to keep you dependent on the government.
That's crazy. Hey, shout out Mama G for the super chat. Hey, we about to get up out of here, y'all. For the people that just asked about the cash app, we've been had it on the screen. The guys just asked about the cash app. We got it on the screen right now. I just dropped it in the chat again for the guy that was just asking. We got the if you can't get it on Cash App, we also got the PayPal right there too. You can go to PayPal. Hey y'all, this was another one. Hey, we're gonna keep you updated, y'all. We're gonna stay on it. We watching them like hawks. We watching the government. We watching everything. We watching the Manchurian candidates. We watching for the school shootings. You ain't heard no more recent updates on the school shooting situation, have you, Rod? Okay, so yeah, since we called it out, I think they might go on another route now, because it seems like every time you call them out, they try something else. They go another route.
Well, you gotta remember, in order for them to successfully follow through, we gotta consent. By us exposing it, it make a whole lot of people that seen it say, we don't consent to that shit.
Yeah, right? That's
so
right.
Now, if they do it, they are invoking the rules of karma.
That's deep. Man, we might have to come back and break that down, of how the power that we have that we don't know we got, that just by knowing, just by being aware and saying in your mind, no, we don't like that, we don't agree to that. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, I do not consent, and no, those are superpowers.
Yeah, that's deep right there. We got to come back on that. Might be the next class of how the power that we got as a unit, mentally, as a one mind, one band, one sound.
The hardest thing that I try to get people to understand is give people the right to disagree with you, because that keeps you understanding you have a right to disagree with them.
That's fine.
Can't nobody take your rights away except you. If you don't use your rights, somebody will use them for you on your behalf without your consent or knowledge.
That's deep. That's deep. Stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
That's the truth.
Man. All right, Rod. Hey, on that note, y'all, we're going to be back with another one. Today is what? Saturday. We're going to be back, man. Probably Monday, Tuesday, whenever we get the next update in the upgrade. Hey, shout out there. What'd you say, Rod?
I said for sure.
Yep. Shout out that boy Tyson, man, for the donation. He says Chief Rod Why on recommending B Havgra Jita. I can't read that, make out what he's saying. Read the books T. I can't make out what he's saying there, man. But shout out that boy Tyson though. Hey, look here, y'all. Like I said, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Go check out the I Nana Return. We're gonna drop part 4 to tomorrow, maybe part 5 too. It's like 6 parts to it. So it's a long book that we put together. Hey, we about to get up out of here, y'all. Peace, love, freedom master teacher Dr. Malachi Z. York, free Jeff Ford. We still waiting on Larry to get out right now. He already been pardoned by Donald Trump. We're waiting on the Illinois to see what they got going on. Free Rashard Jamal, free H. Rap Brown. Did I say Jeff Ford? Yeah, so free all of our political prisoners, man. We winning now. We really winning now. Y'all don't see it, but we really win. We on top right now. We transitioning to the top, right? We transitioning to be first. They made us last, but we transitioning to be first now without even knowing it or with knowing it. Some of y'all with knowing it. Some of y'all with not knowing it. But peace and love and hair grease. One love, one heart. Peace. Hotel.
Never have it been made so clear.